Hey, good evening. My name is Ryan. I wanted to make a video about bike bumming, the good and the bad. Uh, it's not going to be complete. I got a lot of stories about bike bumming, but I want to give kind of an overview. Especially in regards to some recent events with me. Uh, bike bike bumming is can be great if you do it right, and you can raise enough money to maintain the bike and keep it together enough. You got to wash it, you got to oil the chain, you got to adjust the brakes yourself. You got to be able to, you got to have enough lock so stuff doesn't get stolen when you're in a grocery store someday. You got to have a tool so you can tighten stuff here and there, and do what you need to do. You have to be able to carry a bunch of stuff on it without it being I don't know. A lot of people, depending on where you live, you've probably seen somebody who's probably involved with drugs with a bike, and they've got a regular backpack stuffed to the brim on them. Then they've got a backpack on the front of them, and then they're trying to hold 4 shopping bags with the rest of their stuff, and then ride the bike, and it's a mess. But if you can get a good setup, get all the tools, and then come up with enough extra money in your life that you can pay the inevitable expenses that are going to come up. And yes, compared to cars, bikes are cheap. Yeah, it's not a Porsche, but in the last week, I lost the keys to my lock, my U-lock, and I lost the cable that I put around my wheels and put through the lock, and make it a little bit harder for people to just pop off your quick release wheels and run off with them. That was $100. And you have to have locks. You have to have locks, or your bike will be gone when you come out of like any store. Like, you can't get a Starbucks in parts LA or San Francisco without your bike getting stolen if you don't lock it up. So locks are essential. It's $100, and if I didn't have it saved up, I might as well just walk down the street and give my bike to the next person I saw. So you need to have a cushion. I mean, you also have to try to be real careful with everything that you got, not be a dummy. But you gotta have some money saved up. So after I replaced my locks, and I'm like, all right, well, I've got a little bit of a money cushion. I can still take care of my needs for this upcoming atmospheric river. And then my derailleur, just out of the blue, I'm just riding on a little trail real slow. I'm about to go off-road in this real bumpy area, so I'm going real slow, and I just downshifted a gear or two, and all of a sudden my rear derailleur like did a 180-degree flip on the bike and got caught in my spokes upside down and got all bent up and broken. And of course, REI didn't have it. They had to order it, but it came pretty quick, and then they fixed it, but it still ended up costing me $100. Again, it's like not, replacing the catalytic converter on your Ferrari, but it's also it's a lot of money for me just to have saved up. So if you're gonna be a bike vagabond, you're gonna have to figure out a way. I mean, there's people that are gonna help you out along the way. People are a lot nicer to people who are bike bumming it than people who are just backpack bumming it for whatever reason. You'll definitely get people who are like, at least if they see you biking like from the next city up to their town, they're at least like, they'll respect your hustle. They'll respect. They'll be like, well, at least you're doing something cool. So people will help you a lot when you're traveling around by bikes, and I've got some pretty. I've had some pretty famous bike people help me out along the way with different stuff. Stuff breaks. I've had lots of stuff break. I got some good bike stories someday. I'll tell you some of them. But it takes money. But if you can do it, one, you get that whole like, I'm riding sometimes depending on how much weight I'm carrying, if I'm towing a bike trailer, if I've got saddlebags, if it's summer, if I've got to carry, do I have to carry 2 gallons of water with me to cross like this huge desert to get to the next store? Or can I carry just like one water bottle with water in it because I'm going to be hitting spots every 10 miles and I can get water? So all that depends on how far you're going. And also, especially the mountains, and that's with me right now. I'm out of shape because I had broken my ankle. So really, like, hills are rough on me right now. My lungs aren't in great shape. I've been moving slow for a while, so I'm moving slower. But normally, I can do anywhere from 30 miles in a real mountainous area, 30 miles a day, up to I've done 100 miles a day on like flat ground or downhill with a faster bike and a small load. I've done 100 miles a day riding a bike. And that really, A, it gets you in shape, and B, it gives you like that the endorphin rushes. And, I mean, it's not like you think you're the greatest thing ever because you can ride a bike real far every day. But you feel like, you feel good about being able to do that. And, when you roll into town and people saw you riding from the next town up, 30 miles from you, they're like, well, that's cool. You're putting in some miles, man. That's cool. So it's great to do like that. People appreciate it a little bit more than just you walking around with a big backpack. It also is a great way to get some of the best camping spots, at least on the West Coast. And I've got spots up and down the West Coast that I know that I've used for years and years and years. I've been traveling out here for decades, and I got spots. I got spots all over the place. I got them out east too in certain places, but I really got them out on the West Coast, and a lot of them, the best ones, you can only get there by bicycle. And that's great because what that means is, and even then, even still, you can only get there by bicycle, but most bicyclists will not go where you're going. And it's just great because then you get to chill. You don't have to worry about nothing. You can set out all your stuff. You don't have to it's just so nice. It's just like your own little private $100 million plot of land with $1 million view. And you didn't register nothing. You just found the right spot, rolled over to it, and nobody's going to bother you. And it's going to be amazing. And you get to sleep to, the sounds of seals and birds, and everything's around you because nobody ever goes where you go because most people only go somewhere where they can get by car. And so you just find these spots, and like the key to it is if you can find a spot on the side of any kind of road or freeway where there's no spots for cars to park, and if you can get that stretch to be 2-3 miles to where there's nowhere for anyone to pull over, and you go in the middle of that, and then you just get left or right off the road, over, on top of, below the side of line for the road. You don't want to be right next to it, but if you can get over a little hill or around a little corner on the trail, or better yet, there is no trail. And man, those are the best. They really are. Those are the kind of spots where you can camp on the Pacific Ocean, surrounded by wild animals and beautiful old trees and the sound of the ocean, and chill for a few days and just not have to worry about anything. And especially if you're physically sore for riding a lot, that happens. Or if you're just mentally sore, getting on a bike and riding 1,000 miles will fix a lot of things. Won't fix everything, but it'll fix a lot of things. And the West Coast of the United States has some amazing riding, but there's amazing riding all over America. And it's been a big part of my travels and my life in general. and I love bikes. They've treated me well, taken me a lot of cool places. So ride on, ride safe, hit all the buttons below, ask me any questions. You want to hear about a specific topic or just some stories, or you want to tell me I'm funny looking, do it in the comments. Thank you. God bless.